So now, see the conflict. A person who is educated, in the name of self-reliance, he is not depending on the self, the true self, but is depending upon the relative identity of the self. Education, money, job, position, things, relationship. And therefore, collapsing. Okay. Such a person cannot rely on a God also. Why? Because so far depending on himself, he can't depend on a God. He doesn't believe in it anymore. That is why godless philosophies are accepted around the world easily. In the modern society, godless philosophies, that is why that religion which will be godless but talks some sense, people will accept it. But such a religion will be useless. Listen carefully, that religion may say God is not there. Because ordinary person needs somebody. He is not self-reliant. That is why in this Upanishadic tradition, it has both the standpoints. Ishvara is there, formless absolute also is there. Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma. If you are a person already started developing a little individuality, now go to the root of the individuality. Do not stop at the individuality level. Are you getting that? You started with no individuality as a child, but you have developed the individuality as an educated person. When you develop the individuality as an educated person, take it to the logical end. From the finitude, from the finite existence, as a child, now you are conscious that you are finite. That individuality means makes you conscious. I am limited, I am mortal. Now this individuality I, who is getting wedded to mortality, wedded to limitation, must know about itself. The I must reach its logical end, the source of the I, infinity, absolute. Then no problem. Or that I should depend upon Ishvara, the totality. Now this is where comes the conflict for most of the people. Shall I depend on myself or shall I depend on God? But since many people do not know about the self, because the self as a concept doesn't exist around the world. Understand? That there is a Brahman, there is a truth, there is a consciousness, absolute. That is not popular. Suppose there is a particular religion which tells God is not a particular form, but then that formless God, whatever you say formless, name it that formless God or divinity, is away from the formed universe. So that is another thing. That also doesn't solve the problem. So because the individuality will not like to accept something which is somewhere existing and you have to continuously rely upon him and he is far away from this creation. There is, you don't, only after death also you have to recognize it. Before death you can't handle it. Understand, the intelligent thinker cannot accept it. Do you understand your conflict? The intelligent thinker cannot accept it. What is this after death I have to wait? But can you understand, waiting for after death, can you enjoy your life? Even if somebody says absolute surety, after death you will have a good time. Can you go through the suffering for the 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, waiting for the fancy time? Get out of it. I want to have now. Because how do I know whether there is something or not there? Are you getting that? Please see that for yourself. Educated people. This talk we cannot give in a village, cannot give it to people who have no thinking capacity. Understand, educated person does not mean a thinker also. Every educated person is not a thinker. For most people, education means getting a job. Just like yesterday, our Indian Space Research Organization top boss, he has said, India is not producing world-class scientists. What we are producing is functional, ordinary engineers and things like that, so they can be not on bolt, work on anything. But discovering, thinking doesn't exist. Religion, exactly like that. Religious study means for most of the people, throw some flower, do something, sing something, hold your nose, stand on your tail, or something like that. And that's religion. Religious practices. So there are certain religious practices. So those people who are following the practices, they are very religious. Inside, full nuts. Average person, that is the difference of average person's religiousness. What is that you're doing it? Oh, I celebrate Diwali, I celebrate Christmas, I celebrate Moram, I celebrate this, I celebrate that. Then fanatic about it, this is mine, this is mine, this is yours. So you consider yourself religious. Do you think? The religious teachers themselves do not think. Why? If you are based on a faith, and a faith should not be questioned, how can you teach thinking? If the faith itself prevents you from thinking, how can be a thinker be faithful? It just doesn't work. It's a contradiction in terms. The faith does not encourage thinking. The faith doesn't encourage questioning. Therefore, how can be a faithful be a thinker? Or in other words, how can a thinker be faithful? Because the thinker will like to think. He will not just try to believe. So there shall be no place for a thinker in that faith. Are you getting that point, please? In today's world, we discover it. But don't worry about the whole world. Each one must look into himself. You look at yourself. Which one is comfortable for you? Saguna, Nirguna. Are you comfortable in questioning yourself? Or are you comfortable in surrendering to the totality, God? Ask yourself the question. Don't generalize and escape. Today world is like this, don't worry about the world. First fix up yourself. Do you. Are you getting that point? Do you in yourself. Which one you are comfortable? Or suppose you can say, Swamiji, why either or? I am comfortable with both. Sometimes I am happy with myself. I want to know about myself. But this God, fantastic. That is what it is. In fact, that is the best. When you know about yourself, your devotion to God is natural. If you are devoted, you may not know yourself. But if you know yourself, your devotion to God is natural. Because when you are devoted to God without knowing what the God is, that time it only brings in fear, anxiety.